Available on Blu-ray from Radiance Films is the 1988 German bank heist thriller The Cat. This is a Blu-ray, as I may have just said. It is 117 minutes. It's directed by Dominik Graf, and it stars Götz, George, Gudrun, Landgrebe. I apologize for all of these names and their pronunciation. And Joachim Kemmer. It is available in German stereo audio and German 5.1 surround with English subtitles. So this is a film I'd never heard of, and this was really pretty cool. It's a heist movie. You see the planning, not really the planning of the heist, but you see there's about 3 different parties that we bounce around between in this film. We see this German Tom Selleck looking guy with glasses who's in an upper story hotel room that overlooks this bank. He is having I'm not going to tell you the whole story. He is having a dalliance with the wife of the bank manager, and she is in cahoots with him to help create this heist. So there are 2 guys who are on the ground inside robbing the place. They're in radio communication with this guy who's got binoculars and a sniper rifle. There is a police officer who's commanding the police who have come to try to defuse this hostage situation one way or the other, and we bounce around between all these people trying to achieve their goals. It is very tense. You don't ever quite know where this movie is going to go. Performances are good. It's well shot. This is the late 80s. A lot of what Radiance puts out is much more art house fare, much more in the way of dramas and thoughtful films. This is a drama, and it's thoughtful, but it's really more of a thriller. I would say an action thriller. There's not a lot of action, but it's incredibly tense. It's really well made, and I don't want to get into too much of what happens. Everybody in it's very good. Nobody I recognize because I'm not really well-versed in German cinema of this or really any era, but it's really well done. It's the kind of film that I'm surprised never got remade in the US, especially around this time, the late 80s into the early 90s. A lot of studios were just trying to find anything foreign they could to remake that was a hit somewhere else. Maybe this wasn't big enough a hit to get on the radar, but if you like a movie like Heat or Dog Day Afternoon, it reminded me of a lot. Something like that, this is well worth checking out. The only thing that fell apart for me was at the very end, it feels like it's supposed to be a gotcha or a twist ending, and it didn't quite make sense to me what had happened, but that's my only qualm with this movie, really. Otherwise, this is a pretty cool flick. Special features, voluminous. This is one of those discs. Sometimes Radiance won't give you a lot for special features. Sometimes they'll give you double the length of the film in special features. This leans a little bit more toward the latter in this. Transfer looks good, by the way. It looks really good. It does not necessarily look like an old movie, and Radiance is just dependable. If you don't know Radiance Films, they're a company that sort of grew out. An employee who used to work for Arrow started Radiance, and it's really, to me, I think they've put out maybe 1, maybe 2 titles that I've ever heard of. It's really digging into really solid examples of world cinema and bringing them to Blu-ray for the first time. Either the Blu-ray, sometimes bringing them to video for the first time in the US, but a lot of times they're worldwide Blu-ray premieres, and they're usually, I'll look at the cover in a second and let you know. Sometimes they're very limited too. They're going to do 1 run of this many copies, and that's that. So special features, we get director Dominik Graf discussing the making of the film. That's 65 minutes, and these are all new, by the way. These were recorded within the last year or so. Screenwriter Christopher Fromm discusses the challenges of writing The Cat and adapting the novel to film. That's 32 minutes. Producer George Fell discusses assembling the creative team behind The Cat and its production. That's 32 minutes. And director Dominik Graf provides audio commentary for 3 short scenes with contributions from Arthur Alphen. That is subtitled because he is speaking German, and it runs 13 minutes, and you can watch them one at a time or just all together. Disappointing that it isn't a full commentary, but like I've said about some other commentaries and some other things, if you're only going to talk for less than the continued running time of a film, I would rather get it all. I would rather have it be less and get it all in one little lump than have to sit through an hour and a half experience with the movie where I'm listening to the film audio for 3/4 of the running time. So it's totally cool. I would prefer that they do it this way if it's not going to be nonstop. And then there's the trailer that's 2 minutes. So, and the interesting thing too, at the end credits of this movie, there is like a full screen ad for the soundtrack album, which I don't recall many movies ever that I've seen doing it that way. They usually say, soundtrack available on polygram records and tapes or something like that, but rarely is there like a picture of the album cover and a list of the artists. So that is the cover. It comes with the little Japanese style obi strip, which you can open this up and slide out if you don't want it to block your view there. It is, what does it say on here? World English, so it's the World English Subtitle Blu-ray premiere. So this probably had a release in Germany before that. Limited edition of 3,000 copies. Crack it open. See, there's that guy. There's that that kind of, I was watching that, I'm like, if you did an American version, would you put Burt Reynolds in that role? Like if you did this, maybe in 88 you wouldn't, but if you had done a remake of this in like 82, 83, that might have been a Burt Reynolds or a Tom Selleck there. So we get the booklet, which I'll show you in a second. We get the disc there, and we get the alternate German poster, Die Katz, for the film, which I like that they do that. And then we have, yeah, strong Burt Reynolds vibe. The whole time I'm watching this, I'm like, why was this never remade for America? And if it was, who would you put in that? So we get the contents of this. We get All the Good Time That's Been Wasted from 2024 by Brandon Strusing. And that is a 10-page article. And then you get, as Radiance always does, you just get shots from the movie that were taken from this new transfer. So they give you a sample, and you get little illustrations like things that might have been going on or might have been inspiring the film, like Miami Vice and Axel F. Beverly Hills Cop. Once in a while, the brain gets a little too full to function. So available now on Blu-ray from Radiance Films. A really cool, fun, gritty German crime heist caper thriller. I'd say caper, not a great title for this because caper indicates some lightness. This is a pretty serious movie, The Cat.